So I was looking at the question on the community about capacity planner with individual user daily work logs. Now, this question, again, it's a very common question. I made a video on capacity management, which is again not really straightforward, or I should say, it is not perfect because capacity itself is not very clear thing. When you talk to 10 different people, 10 different organizations, managers, teams, the definition of capacity will change. So it really depends on what is capacity for you and whether you really care about capacity or not. Whether you should really care about it or not is also another thing that you need to ask yourself. But in any case, the question here is from Mohan that we want to do capacity planning for individual daily work log, and they are on cloud. And the main thing here is that they don't really want to use any add-on, right? Because I can potentially say that, okay, you can take a look at what some apps like Tempo, right? So if you're using Tempo Planner, we can have a view where you can plan the work on a grid or on a calendar, which is great. But if you're not really using any app, then the thing that you can do is you can just rely on Jira's native time tracking capabilities. So what you can do is, and again, based on the question, I'm just talking about things that are coming to my mind, which I have already replied on this. But as a consultant, this is what we do. We try to get more information so we can reply accordingly. So one thing is clear. This person is on Jira Cloud and they don't really want to use any app. And we're talking about capacity, right? Work log, capacity. Work log and capacity, they are different things, but these are the keywords that I'm picking from this. So the thing is that you can definitely use a native time tracking feature where you can have the original estimate field, right? Which you can add. I mean, when you add time tracking fields, or the fields that you add on your issues, on your screens, make sure it is enabled, by the way. Then you can estimate the work for different issues. It could be stories, it could be tasks, right? It is up to you how you want to use it. So definitely talking about number of hours, you have the original estimate field. But if you are only interested in story points, you can do that. And I'm talking about story points here because you may want to rely on or you want to just focus on Scrum and you want to use story points. You may want to set up your own board. In that case, when you're talking about your board setup, you can just use your estimation based on story points. But in any case, up to you how you want to do it. It could be number of hours, it could be story points, right? That is something that you can configure on your board if you're using board. Make sure that your issues are assigned to the users, because when you assign these issues to the users, to different users in your organization, in your team, in your board, then you have some way to report on it. Let us say you have 10 stories. Out of those 10 stories, 5 are assigned to someone. Remaining 5 are assigned to 2 other people in your team. Then for each and every story, based on their original estimate, based on their story points, you can then do some maths. And again, how you do it, you have to rely on maybe exporting data from Jira to another tool. It could be as simple as a spreadsheet. But when people are logging their work, then you have something to compare that number with. So if you're talking about original estimate, then when people log their work, you can then do some comparison, right? That is always possible. And if you're using board, and if you are, depending upon how you configure your board, the estimation, you can always look at burn down chart, you can always look at velocity chart, and you can get some idea about the current state or your past performance. And velocity chart will tell you your actual capacity, right? It will tell you your velocity, like what is your velocity out of 30 story points that you planned, you're only able to do 25, or on an average 25 in the last 5 sprints. So and something similar. But if you are, the most simple thing that you can do, I think not many people actually try to. The thing is that when people start using Jira, they want to do everything in one go. They don't really want to use Jira for what it is for, basically issue tracking. So even if you're using Jira for tracking your issues and stories and assigning it to people, you already are winning. You're already collaborating. You already are doing a lot better than your previous way of working. Now, the next thing is that if you are asking people to log their time, if they are making sure they are doing things on time, or if your manager is, if you have a good manager, which I think you should, if they are making sure that people are updating the status of the issues, they are closing the issues, or if you are as a manager, or if they are as a manager, they are making sure the sprint is started or ended on time, you have all the data filled in, then always you can pull this data out of Jira and dump it somewhere. It could be, of course, your Excel sheet or Google spreadsheet or whatever tool that you're using for reporting, and then you can play with it. Of course, in Jira you have some basic simple reports. You have a time tracking report that will give you some information, but time tracking report is not massively useful. It is just, a list of all the issues with numbers, which is not bad, but you may want to do like a bit more. And that is where I think the apps can help you. And if not apps that you want to purchase, then always dump it somewhere else, and look at that information, and then report on it. So these are a few things that I thought I'll probably talk about when it comes to capacity management, capacity planning. And I made a video on capacity management recently where of course I just wanted to talk about it. Just wanted to share my experience working with managers, organizations, teams where they all talk about capacity management, but they don't know what is capacity. They don't really care about the delivery. They only care about things. They want to make things look good in Jira. And that is actually a sad reality. Unfortunately, that happens. People actually want to not look at the big picture. They just want to make sure that whatever they are doing or whatever people think they are doing should look good. It could be as simple as making sure your Jira, or at least your things related to your Jira issues are fine. Or maybe if you are a manager, you have like a good reason to say that, okay, I can't do capacity management because Jira is not configured the way I want it to be configured, right? So it's a very bad excuse. It basically they are saying that we don't know what we are doing, and they're just trying to blame the tool. So that happens. Anyways, so again, whenever it comes to capacity management, whenever it comes to project management in general, or project managers in general, I have so many things to talk about, and not everyone likes it. Anyways, so that is all I wanted to talk about in this video: capacity management, capacity planning in Jira. I was actually looking at this question. This question is, of course, just one line, but I thought I'll just elaborate a bit more on these things. All right, that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new. Thank you very much.